Welcome to Vegas Circle with Paki and Chris, and today we are sitting down with professional BMX rider, television personality, businessman, Mr. Ricardo Laguna.
Muy buenos días or muy buenas tardes. I don't know what time we're watching right now or listening, but what an honor to be here.
Man, it's good to finally put this together, man. So
I know.
We got shout out to our friends.
Ricardo.
Yeah, man. So shout out to our friends Angel and Letitia Live to Give for connecting us. Just beautiful people.
Real talk.
We were talking about it offline. It's finally good we were able to put this together this past month. So.
Exactly. I'm excited to see how this conversation goes out there.
We're going to make it work, man. So you got a really, really unique story. Originally from Mexico.
Right.
Moved to Las Vegas, I think, when you were 13.
Yep.
And then you've done so many different things from 18 years old, becoming a professional.
That's what I heard once. If you diverse,
Unreal.
you're going to do all right in life.
It's amazing, man, some of the things you've been able to do. And you planted your flag in Vegas.
Correct.
How in the world, we just got to jump right in. How did you get involved in just riding bikes? Like how did that come apart?
My parents brought me to Las Vegas when I was turning 13.
Okay.
And my brother and I got bamboozled.
Okay.
We got told that they were coming out here to celebrate my birthday. Little did my brother and I knew that we were coming out here to celebrate a little bit of my birthday, but at the same time, they heard there was a great job opportunity.
Okay.
So my dad ended up getting a job washing dishes at the Stardust Hotel and Casino. Casino's not even around. It's, I believe,
it's tore down,
Resorts World is what it's now.
Yep.
And sure enough, he got the job, went back home, sold everything, bought a trailer, and we moved to this trailer park. So now that I'm dealing with the biggest hurdle of my life is speaking English, so bear with my Spanglish. Yeah. I want to make friends because I used to play baseball. And back then, I sound like our parents. Remember back in the day when we used to walk barefooted through the snow and you got buses?
Yeah.
My story is I didn't have internet so accessible. So I couldn't figure out where was the closest baseball league or field, whatever it was, for me to go out there and play. So the second best option was ride this little hoopty mountain bike and make some friends. And I saw some kids in this random desert saying they were riding BMX, but little did we know it was not BMXing because all they were doing is trying to see who can jump the farthest, and that was the winner. Okay. Which in BMX, you take off one spot and land the other. So sign language and all, they were like, hey, there's going to be this big national BMX race that people not just from all over the United States are coming, but from all over the world. Turns out this track was 2 miles away from that trailer park. Whatever reason happened, we didn't go. Okay. And my parents, all they can afford every other weekend to take us to a buffet. So I've been very blessed that my parents has supported me on every adventure that I want to go on. Yeah. They basically, they were driving back and I was like, Mom, they're telling me there's this BMX track out there and I don't get it. Can we go check it out? Sure enough, flipped the UE, went into the BMX track, and I was like a little kid in the candy store. Yeah. I saw lights, people with uniforms. This gate that holds 8 riders says, riders ready, watch the light. And it drops within a split second. 8 riders go through this track and different obstacles, and whoever gets to the checker line wins. I was like, I'm sold. Let's do this. Yeah. So I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, can you please buy me a bike? She said, Mijito, dame un mes o dos y te compro una bici. Don't worry, if your Spanish is not that good, I got you. Said, son, give me about a month or two, and I'll buy you a bike. Well, 2 weeks later, she bought me the worst possible bike I can ever think of, and a passion became a career.
That's amazing, man.
So 26 years later, I'm here.
Like, how did you realize that point? We all grew up riding bikes, and obviously to do it professionally is like the next level that most people never get to. Being in that position, and obviously it's a young person's kind of sport. How did you know that you were good enough to go professional? How did that transition go from being a bike rider to a professional athlete kind of happen?
I have to tell this story because it's really funny. So my brother's 4 years younger than me. And in BMXing, if you're getting smoked by someone that's a year or 2 years younger, you're pretty hopeless. Okay. And back then, once again with the same theory, like it wasn't so accessible to have BMX tracks because there was only one track. It was only open once a week. So one day and 6 days without riding, you couldn't get good. Yeah. So I was terrible. My brother would just clinic me like every time we were on the track. But I got very lucky that I have outworked a lot of people because I started making jumps in random deserts. So funny story. So I used to have this guy from like Utah. His name was Brian, and super Mormon, super clean cut kid. And I got invited to go to the Sprite Irving games in London. So it happened right when I believe there were some like trains that exploded. It happened right there. Crazy story. Anyways, the event really happened, but it tends to rain a lot. Mm-hmm. And this guy with dreads, super ratty looking, his bike didn't have brakes, kept yelling my name. And I'm like, dude, practice is for 15 minutes. I'll talk to you in a second. So when practice ended, I went up to him and was like, Ricardo, remember me? It's like, help me out. It's like, I used to race you. You couldn't even jump the smallest jump in the whole track, and look at you, how good you are. And I was like, yeah, well, after 26 years of hard work, I kind of got a little bit better.
Yeah. It's no joke, man. Just the time. I mean, like Chris and I, when we invite people on, it's like the mindset, like you just said, is you get so focused and laser focused. And it seems like that's what happened to you is you get focused at that young age, at 13, I think you said, right? In 18, you actually signed your deal to become professional?
Yeah, first check rolled in. It wasn't much, but hey, $500 that I never had.
But how did you know, like walk us through the process of like.
So I'll tell you
like,
how it happened. It was crazy. So I graduated from high school. My parents said, all right, school or work. And I ended up becoming a PE teacher assistant.
Okay.
And I used to get hired every now and then to. So I started kind of crossing over from racing to freestyle. Okay. Racing is basically 8 people on a track. Stay low, go fast, whoever gets to the checker line wins. And I enjoy the freestyle better because you're on top of a roll and anybody roots for everybody. Whoever puts the best run and whoever does the best homework, then you have the chances to win the contest. And I started getting hired to do BMX shows, not because I was good, just because I can do the backflip. And a good friend of mine, Joe Riley, he had tattoos, piercings, and long hair. Nothing that's wrong having that. But this company that hired me to do shows every so often, they got the gig to do shows at Legoland for a whole summer. And what would take in a year and a half of being a PE teacher assistant, I was going to make it in 3 months. So, and the only reason why they hired me is because Joe didn't want to cut his hair, take his piercings off, and cover his tattoo. So second best option was little Ricardo, the clean-cut looking kid. So I once got told I got lucky, and this crazy definition for me, it always makes sense to me because I always try telling people, I'm not lucky, I work really hard. And then she explained to me, let me explain how luck is defined. There's $1 on the floor. 3 people are going to walk by. The first one sees it, not lucky. Second person walks by, sees the dollar, whether bending down, stopping, picking up the dollar. It's work, and you have to be in the right place. Third person walks by, sees the dollar, stops, bends down, picks it up, puts it in his pocket. The dude was in the right place, willing to do the work, and he conquered it. So then I was like, you know what? Maybe I am lucky.
That's you. Yeah.
So, that's
a little bit of luck and timing.
Yeah, a couple bumps and bruises on top of that.
It's funny, before you got here, Chris and I were talking offline. It's like,
by the way, can we clarify how cool this is?
Yes, we got
Chris
you on the
is
Zoom.
like, I don't even know where he's at. He can be like in New York or
he's over in Dubai right now.
I think I'm somewhere much better than I am. We'll go in Dubai.
Yeah, you're in Dubai. He's in Dubai right now. But no, we were talking about just like how people are so laser focused. Like, you know, Tiger Woods, you might do meditation or whatever it is. Like, what's your process like to be able to just block out the pressure of the crowd and people there and being able to just laser
that's
focus?
actually the opposite for me. I'm built for pressure. The more pressure, I feel like I perform better. Okay. But at the same time, not everybody works the same ways, and that's why it's not meant for, like, you know, there's contest riders and there's show riders and then there's video riders. The video riders, you can film all day long and get that clip. With me, they call your name, like it or not, you have to perform the best way that you can. So I thrive to be on the spotlight because the homework is done. I always tell people, look, like I train on my street doing sprints, and I always tell them, like, champions get made not in the spotlight, but, you know, in the office, what I like to call my backyard. So to me, like, when I go to a contest, what I done is it's already done. My mind is already know that it's being conquered. I practice that trick, and now it's just rolling the dice. Make sure you execute it when they call your name. So.
That's another thing. I mean, is like, how much are you practicing? Like, let's say you're about to compete or you have a show. Or
when something's happening, and I can tell you, things kind of put everything to the side and 100% into riding and training. So right now, the cool thing is that off season is basically at prime time, and the next big contest and big race, actually, the kickoff for USA BMX is at the South Point here in Las Vegas, January 7th to the 9th.
When is it? You said January?
January 7th to the 9th.
Oh, so it's coming up. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the next big national people from not.
Are you competing? Do you actually still compete and everything?
Yeah. So hopefully we can keep rubber side down and China side up.
That's amazing.
And, you know, Ricardo, I'm curious. You know, it's easy to be one thing to like the pressure of being in those high stakes environments. But how do you recover? Like, say you're going out there and you have all this preparation, you have all this plan, you practice it a million times, but it doesn't go the way that you expected. You know, how easy it is for you to recover in that moment.
can we do another contest right now so I can get a redo?
Yeah.
Because I always think, you have to look at the cup half full. No one's perfect. You could prepare yourself the best way that you could, and it's a fraction of a second in our sport. That fraction of a second can be a deal breaker. So to me, like, when you go like, God, I wish I would have done this. I wish I could have practiced more. Like, there's so many what ifs. So I just want to be like, when's the next one? A lot of people, they bang themselves up and be like, I just want to quit. I'm not no good. I'm never going to get better. And to me, it just, fuels me. So it's actually kind of good when I lose. I think it makes me work a little harder, even though I feel like I've worked about as hard as I can get.
Yeah.
The one thing that I seem to be super curious or would be nerve-wracking is injuries, because it seems like a pretty, tough sport to be out there flinging around a bicycle, going through, really extreme speeds, trying tricks that most people can't do. To do that, I'm sure you have to take some bumps and
USA. I'm gonna let you know a little secret for all of you guys that have plans on becoming a racer for USA BMX. USA BMX is a point system, and even when you max out your points, you can mess up people's points. So I remember I had pins on my hand because I broke my wrist, but if I show up, there was no way for the other riders to accumulate more points. So I literally just showed up and rode out, so then they couldn't cap up another point on top of mine.
Oh, so there's a whole chess strategy behind.
In a sense, like, we have Connorfield. He won the Olympics. Like, he qualified literally to the finals, and he didn't have to race the last two races. So it's pretty wild. It's a point system, which, it's like any sport. Okay. But for us, like, you can just literally show up. As long as you roll out, you're Xing out 1 point to the competitor to hopefully not take you out.
That's no joke, man. Yeah, because we were talking about, like, you get all these injuries, and when you broke, like you said, your wrist, or I don't even know how many bones you probably broken.
I don't want to make this podcast too long.
That's what I'm saying. But how do you overcover, like, retrying that? It's got to be something you're shutting off.
No. I mean, once again, maybe I'm the oddball out of the group. That I as I said, like, the doctor said I'm out for 6 months, and with me, I'm all like, I'm back at it 3 months later in a pin on a track.
That's right.
Of course, I'm not competing to the top level.
Sure.
But he clearly said I recover way faster than a traditional person.
Yep.
And therapy and the whole thing, I pushed it to the next level, not just a traditional baby steps. With me, I'm all like, how soon can I get back on the saddle?
Talking a little bit about, I've seen you've done a lot as far as marketing and impacting a lot of the kids here in Las Vegas. You guys have got an event coming up. It's got a free helmet event you're doing with Range Rover and Land Rover.
Yeah.
Coming up on January 15th. Can you talk a little bit about that, about the safety?
Crazy story. Before I even jump into it, this kid, his name is Jonathan Bronson. He met me 10 years ago, about a decade ago. Gave him a free helmet, autograph. He wanted to come and ride the backyard. I was like, give us some time, man, because my backyards, I have ramps and they're pretty gnarly, so it's not really like an entry level.
Yeah.
And he gradually kept nagging at me, and I kept seeing him how he's got the progression. I was like, come on down and ride the backyard now. Yeah. And then he started learning the tricks, and now I hire him, and now he kind of quit his job to do BMX shows with me. So it's pretty surreal, from meet and greet, free helmet. Now he works with me.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And he's going to be there with me along with a couple of other hometown heroes.
Okay.
We're going to set up a miniature skate park. The Clark County School Police Department is going to have like a petting zoo. They're going to bring like motorcycles, the cars, the whole nine. We're going to have some mariachis going in there. So it's a full-on party.
That's
and
awesome.
Then I don't care what sport you do, how tall, how short. If you show up, you get a free helmet, even parents, because the idea is after Christmas, whether the parents forgot to buy them a helmet for the bike, scooter, BMX, whatever thing that needs a helmet or they couldn't afford it, we try to fulfill that gap. So we call it the after Christmas helmet giveaway.
Smart, man.
Yeah. So
it's good marketing to be able to do it, but also being able to help. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
So
we're trying to help them to cover, those expensive fees. And yet, you never know. The next hometown hero kid.
And so you've kind of transitioned and done a lot. I mean, I've seen you had a reality show.
Yeah.
So it was the Ricardo Laguna project, right?
Correct. On MTV3, the Spanglish network.
So how did that work? Did you have to like Chris and I would talk about this. Do you have to pitch it, or did they come to you?
No, I got very lucky and very blessed once again. Remember our luck theory?
Yeah.
I during Extreme thing, I used to get a lot of interviews to promote it because I was the face of the event to promotion wise.
Okay.
And every time when I stutter and I was like, what do I do with my hands? It wasn't so camera friendly. they said take two, and then you got to open your mouth to get fed.
Yep.
So I asked the producers, like, "What's the chances of me hosting your TV show?" And this little kid that thinks he can be in front of television goes like, "How? Why?" And I was like, "Look, I can get you permission," because I knew the county would allow me to film anywhere in the event because they wanted publicity. So they said, "I can get any clips you want. Just give me best 3. I hosted during Extreme thing, and then we air. And if I do a good job, you can keep hiring me." So I became a host for the CW TV show. And the producer says, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing reality TV?" Because she met my mom and how crazy like my whole family is, because I got the traditional, more Americanized lifestyle. My parents are more Hispanic. When are you getting married? How come you don't have this or that? And I'm just like, can you relax a little? Yeah. And he was like, "I need you to meet this guy. His name is Wilmer Balderrama. He has a TV show in the 70s, and then he actually is the voice of Handy Manny. Not a lot of people know that."
I never knew that either.
Yeah. And then the way he got his foot in the door, once again, the luck, he had a MTV show called Your Mama. So,
I remember Your Mama.
Yeah. So they were like, "Come and meet him." And it was so funny because now that I know him and when I hang out with him, people always pitching him the ideas. With me, it was different. He goes like, "Ricardo, who's your hero?" So when I started riding bikes, I didn't have like, that's a Hispanic guy or that's a dude like I can relate because my language barrier. So I just kind of paved my own wave. And then he goes like, "Have you ever thought about you being the hero?" And I was like, "I don't know what you mean." It's like, "I'm going to come out next week, film you. I'm going to do the sizzle." I was like, "What's a sizzle?" And then I'm going to pitch it to networks. And sure enough, 3 months later, it's like, "Hey, I got a ticket for you to go to Florida to meet with Viacom because they want to meet you and want to know."
Big boys, Viacom's a big deal.
Yeah. So I had a contract waiting for me if I was willing to basically sacrifice all my personal time, because you become a public figure where you. So far, everything's been harmless. That a lot of my private life is pretty much out there.
That's what I saw. I watched one of the episodes too, and I was tripping out because you're a bachelor and you live in Las Vegas, and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be hilarious."
Yeah. You know, they spit acid a little bit in there, but you guys have to tune in to see what happens.
I'm gonna pay attention, man. That's good stuff,
sure.
man.
Ricardo, it seems like you have your hand in a lot of different pots. From nonprofits to entertainment to BMX and all other business ventures. Was that always kind of your vision of using, BMX as a platform to kind of transition to other avenues, or has it been more of a, you just kind of saying yes as opportunities present themselves and kind of seeing how it goes?
So I have always used my bike as the vehicle to open doors. I've never been the best bike rider, but I just know that I'm a human billboard. So the better you look, the better you promote yourself, the more doors are going to open up. And with that said, Las Vegas has been phenomenal. From being awarded, Las Vegas like citizen of honorary for North Las Vegas to like getting, a skate park named after me. How crazy is that? So I knew that the longevity of my sport, like in my sport, I'm a dinosaur. I hang out with teenagers. So that's because all my friends don't want to ride anymore because I don't want to get hurt. So I have to scout the new future. And one of the last contests, actually, a kid beat me, and I can literally be his dad. So,
that's funny.
Anyways, let's not talk about sore subjects.
Yeah,
I just knew that riding a bike can open up a lot of doors. And at a very young age, my mom said, like, "Look, we're gonna buy a fourplex. So then we live in one, and then the other 3 are gonna pay the mortgage. But you have to share a room with your brother. And when you're 16 years old, it's the last thing you want to do." So I got that engraved in a very young age, and I bought my first rental property at 20 years old. And I still felt like I had too much free time. So then Extreme Thing came about because I knew this festival was like extreme sports, but they didn't have no action sports. So a 20-year-old kid, I went to the Clark County Special Events. And till this day, a good friend of mine, Brian, like laughs at me because I literally just went in there. I was like, "Who's in charge? I want to talk to them." And I told him, I was like, "Look, I know the people. You need to pay those riders. Don't pay me. I'm going to use the county worker. So it's not going to cost you any extra money. If there's more tickets sold, and then we can figure it out, and then maybe you can hire me." And it became a 12-year gig. So from there, then reality TV came about, and I was like, "Man, this is way funner than anything else." So let's do that. And as I said, bad came good. I lost a deal in real estate, so I started my own festival. And then now I'm looking at starting a trucking company. So
are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, you'll go completely different. So we talk about offline. It's like, what do you do after you're still building? So you really gonna get in the trucking business?
Yeah. I always tell my publicist, if I have time to sleep, your job isn't dangerous.
Yeah, that's so joke, man.
Yeah, PR Plus better keep me busy.
That's awesome, man. That's good, man. What would you say is like your biggest failure, and like how did you recover from it, and like what did you learn from that?
Man, biggest failure. You know what? I'm gonna use a really bad one in my eyes. Like my dad's my dad's brother passed away, and I could have went and saw him, and now like I need to enjoy my family more. So like for me not to spend enough time with my family, it's like one of the things like, man, I can never go back and say anything. So it's always kind of heart-wrenching on that. So and you know that messed you up, because for a couple of days I was like, man, I'll never see him again. And I could have went and saw him when he was alive. So yeah.
The time of the pandemic, I mean, what me and Chris have talked about all the time, is like pandemic punched all of us in the mouth to kind of slow down, you know what I mean, to be able to do it. So I can't blame you. Time is everything. One thing I want to ask you too, especially because you're definitely a mentor for kids. What business advice would you give, just a nugget, to maybe somebody that wants to maybe get into BMX riding, or maybe they want to build a business? Because I know you do a lot of real estate investing. What's a tip that you would tell them?
Simple. Find a passion and keep chopping away. It might take you longer than what took me. It might take you less than what it took me. But if you enjoy doing something so much, the money's going to fall into it. And it's a bummer that some people take a lot longer and some people don't see it and quit. With me, like, I just keep going at it. Like, you know, like $500 a month is nothing. And to me, that's what really, I thought I was a millionaire. You tell me I'm going to have $5,000 to travel all over the world? I'm done. Like, in the great scheme of things, is not something that you can fall back and be like, this is a career. But because of the hard work, a couple years later, I made more money. And then from the more money, you know, I wish I would have spent it on fancier cars and partying, but I didn't. And that allowed me to buy more stuff. So I always tell people, just find a passion, keep chopping away, and trust me, the rest falls into your lap.
That's awesome.
And don't let it mislead you, because with me, there's been so many times I was like, man, I'm glad I didn't quit. And I was so close to quit. And look, now it's paying off.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
that's a great message, man. You get out a lot too. So let's talk. One question we ask a lot of our guests too is, what's your favorite restaurant in Vegas?
Favorite restaurant? You know what? I just said this, and then they were like, the food is not even good there. I was like, but the view is great.
Okay.
Giada's, I just love the view there. I kind of eat for view.
Okay.
Taste is secondary. Of course, I should maybe flip it. But like Stratosphere, I love around the world. How cool is that? You spin around the whole world.
Nice.
Paris is another cool one. Like, because you get to see the water show as well, the Giada. So those are the two that stand out. But can't forget about downtown. I mean, Circa. I went to Barry's, and let me tell you,
we were just at Barry's.
Oh
Chef
man,
Barry. Yeah, he's a good guy. Literally was just there, like literally a couple days ago. Yeah.
Wow. I'm trying to think. The other one is where Tacos and Beer and Firefly was. They have this baked potato, and it's phenomenal, because I got a friend of mine from actually the same conversation. He said Giada's wasn't good. I was like, and they went to this Ferrado's. I can't remember the name of it.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But their baked potatoes is to die for.
Okay.
Zero view, but I love the vibe, and their baked potatoes are to die for.
You gave some gems. I'm gonna have to agree. Giada's, I think, has good food. And the view is amazing. Yeah, I like it.
I keep going back, so
that's good stuff.
I'm blocking out what their comments are.
Yeah, that's good, man. You're a food critic, but you gave the gems, so that's good. What else are you focused on for? I guess now we're finishing strong for 2021, but 2022. What are you focused on? Is that something that you?
Well, I mean, a lot of people already know. I've been very vocal about this. I refinanced 5 of my properties.
Okay.
I'm about to either sell my house and destroy my last training facility that took nearly 15 years to build, or refinance. And I bought 4 acres of raw land. I bought more rocks, bushes, and dirt. So I'm building my forever home, and I need to bring utilities. I'm becoming a general contractor, and I already partner up with, because even though if it's a owner built, you still have to hire a couple of general contractors to stamp your plans. And they're like, I think you're gonna do really good, because I'm like, this is easy, guys. What is this so difficult? So I just got approved by the county in Sony. So I'm hoping to break ground February, March. I'm going to the town board, and after that, the commissioners.
Make sure you listen to our recent episode with Victor. He went through ridiculous with everything he went through with loans. Took about 3 years. So make sure you listen to that.
Well,
Chris will tell you.
With me, that's
crazy.
not the problem. With me, it's what I'm building. I'm building like 4,800 square foot, like indoor skate park.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're not messing
30
around.
30 foot high, because it's the whole view of the strip. You will never get it'll never get blocked.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I bought this.
Okay.
But I
awesome.
do need to listen because I am a guru. When we talk about real
Yeah.
estate and numbers, I'm
He
more like,
knows, yeah.
those are my two subjects. I'm more like, let's talk, please.
That's good, man. I gotta check it out, man. When is this gonna happen? Yeah.
So I'm hoping to break ground. As I said, right now, like I literally got approved last Monday.
Okay.
So now I go to the town board January 27th.
Okay.
So hopefully anybody's open to come if you live in the
attention to it.
89156 zip code
Okay.
and say, you know, we want Ricardo to make the neighborhood look better, or hopefully not to say they don't want me there.
Get you right.
Exactly.
Show
So,
some love, man. Show some love.
exactly.
Yeah. That's great, man. So what else is on your horizon, man? You planning? You still gonna continue to keep riding?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the goal.
So this
Do you
is
have
the 6th year. You know, I thought about hanging it up because I've been doing a lot of Facebook video stuff with the
Okay.
network, and it's taking a lot of my time. And as I said earlier, it is the
Yeah.
off season.
Yeah.
But normally, like maybe 2 weeks ago, I would have started ramping up,
Okay.
and I have yet to do that. So I don't know. Maybe still give it another year of racing and a couple of freestyles, but I need to get back on the program or follow the new horizon that I got going on, because I'm building on my forever home, and me being a general contractor is either pay someone or do it yourself, and basically it's a big chunk of change that you're going to be saving during the build, and this is my forever home. So it's going to get built the way I want to.
That's awesome.
So I don't know if I'm going to be homeless by June or July. Like there's so much going on. So it's kind of like day by day. Hopefully I defend my USA BMX state title for the 6th year in a row. If that kind of presents itself, that would be pretty awesome, because I don't know how many people have done it 6 times in a row. And if not, I'm just going to have a beautiful home, and I need to build 4 acres of the Laguna land.
That's good, man. That's what you got the
Yeah,
whole
that's
set
gonna
of
be
Laguna.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good, man. So it's absolute pleasure to hang out with you, man.
No,
Just be able
thank
to
you
pick
for
your
having
brain,
me.
man, and being able to see what you've been able to do. How can people reach you? Can you what's some of
I
your
am
social handles?
super easy all across the board. Ricardo_Laguna.
Yeah. Okay.
Quote me to this. If you send me a DM, I will reach out to you. Sometimes it takes me a couple days,
Okay.
but others, you know, I respond right away.
Awesome, man. Well, absolute pleasure, man. You
Yeah,
got a great
thank you.
mind, man, and everything that you're doing, man. So your impact, and then make sure to check them out on January 15th.
Yeah,
the
Land
free
Rover,
helmet.
Las
Yep.
Vegas, and Jaguar up on 215 in Decatur. You cannot miss it.
Make sure to check them out, and then you can check us out at thevegascircle.com and subscribe with us, man. So we good.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, man.
Awesome.
good.
Thank you, Ricardo.
Yeah, that was really good.
How do we do virtual high five?
He said, "Give you a high five." You can see all
There
that.
it is.
I want to know.
That's pretty cool, man.